Hello and welcome to Hill and Ponton's Social Security Disability blog. I'm Natalia Jofre, our Social Security Section Director.
And I am Shelly Mark. I am our Senior Social Security Attorney at the firm.
So in our last blog, we were talking about the hearing day. So you've waited all this time to get your hearing. Now you actually go to the hearing. We talked about, how you should dress, what you should do, what you can expect that day. Now we're going to talk about when you're in the actual hearing per se. So when you go into the room, what is it like? Can you describe to them a little bit about what it's like?
Sure. You're not going into a courtroom, a large courtroom. You're going to go into a smaller type room, and you will be seated. The attorney will be seated next to you. The judge will be across the room on a podium, and there will be two side tables, one of which is going to have a court reporter who's going to be obviously keeping everything on record, and should you need that in the future. And then there's also possibility that there may be a vocational expert and also a medical expert, which I think we'll probably get into those at another point.
Mm-hmm.
When we go into the hearing, you do have to be sworn in.
Okay.
So the judge will ask all the parties to swear in, and then from that point, we will begin taking testimony.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of the testimony is going to be about age, education, past work, why you stopped working, and then why you haven't been able to go back to work. Clients always ask me, well, why aren't you going to answer for me? And they think because
Shelly, why aren't you going to answer for them?
And the reality is I can't. These questions are going to be directed to the client either by myself or from myself or from the judge. And they are going to have to, answer on their own.
Because then it kind of begs the question, what is your role there? You can perhaps direct the questioning, or if you feel as if though the judge has gone down a line of questioning that may, showcase an unfavorable light on some of their answers, you could maybe sometimes ask questions that would counter that, right?
Absolutely. The variances in these hearings are very minimal. But the biggest one is whether the judge is going to ask the client the questions directly or whether the judge is going to let the attorney do that. Obviously, if as the client's attorney, if I'm allowed to ask the questions, I'm going to ask them in a way that I know prevents the case in the most favorable light.
Right.
If the judge is the one that does the direct questioning of the client, I get to question the client after. And so that's when I'll be doing any clarification or covering anything that the judge should not cover, or trying to, whatever it is. In a lot of cases, the judge may focus on something that I find to be irrelevant, so I may need to ask some questions to clarify that it's not really as important as it came across. So that's, and of course we're there as the client's advocate. So if they don't understand a question, or they need to take a break, or anything like that, they can always turn to us for assistance.
Okay, great. So that's helpful to understand. And then you can also argue law, right? Like you can say this person is disabled because they meet this listing or that ruling, or because of this combination of factors they should be found disabled or whatever.
Exactly. The judge is going to expect us to, as attorneys, to come in with a theory of our case. So it does have to be based on the law. So we will, in our hearing memo and in all of our argument letters or anything that we submit throughout the file, we're going to be presenting those legal arguments, but we will be presenting them again the day of the hearing.
Okay, great. Well, next blog, I think we'll talk about then these other experts that can be present at your hearing. They've become pretty prevalent, so we'll talk about those. In the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to visit our website or call our office. Otherwise, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.